Texas A&M 31, South Carolina 30. It was a five-Chalai classic. I don't know what else to say. How did you look away from this? Even when it was a blowout in the first half, it was a blowout in a sense that made your jaw hit the ground like you couldn't believe what was happening. It's not like A&M got up by 4 scores and then South Carolina found their way back in it. This was 30-3. I want you to raise your hand. I mean, unless you're in class or something like that, or you're at the DMV listening to the replay tomorrow, don't look like you're a psycho, but raise your hand if you gave up on this game. Did you turn it off? Did you go and run a quick errand and get some stuff from the hardware store? Did you go get lunch? Did you, go mow the grass and get ready for the 2:30 Central Time kickoffs and then look up and it was all of a sudden 31-30? Did anyone out there do that? I have it on good authority. Some of you fell into that trap. Paper popper stat. Since 2004, SEC teams were 0-286 when trailing by 27 plus. They are now 1-286. We reached full pucker. If you follow me on Twitter during Saturdays, every now and then when there's an upset brewing, I like to update what I call the pucker meter. And I mean, look, if you're familiar with the human anatomy and you understand what it's like when things get a little tense, you understand what the pucker meter probably refers to. And the bigger the favorite you are, and the closer the upset gets, the higher the pucker meter goes. The highest we had been so far this year was, I think, like a 9.5. And that was those Penn State games with James Franklin. Ladies and gentlemen, we reached a 10 in College Station, Texas, on the pucker meter yesterday. And here's why. The first half was a disaster. I went to Jim Donnan's house yesterday, big friend of the program, former Georgia head coach. I was up in Athens already, had to kill some time. So we went and watched the first portion of the Saturday just sitting in Jim Donnan's basement. Good name of a show, actually, Jim Donnan's basement. And it was in that basement that I watched 30-3 unfold, a 312-132 yardage edge for South Carolina in the first half. They outrushed A&M 108 to -9 in the first half. They had a 3-1 turnover edge, which felt like more somehow. There were multiple cap busters. Lenora Sellers found the deep ball. The cops couldn't even stop South Carolina. And trust me, they tried in vain to stop South Carolina. And all that happens, and you feel like an entire season's worth of misery and bad breaks and busted coverages and everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for Texas A&M, to the point where I legitimately thought to myself, at what point was A&M informed kickoff was 11 a.m.? Because if you, just experimentally, if you took a team and told them all week they were playing at 7:30, and then told them when they woke up, nope, game's at 11, get ready. It looked worse than I would think that would look. But here's the thing about college football games. Lots changed over the years. One thing has stayed the same: 60 minutes in regulation. They make you play 60. They make you play a full 60. And that was, as it turns out, horrifically terrible news for the South Carolina Gamecocks. First half went great, and then they wheeled the piano out to midfield, and she came out of the tunnel. Her name, Sarah McLachlan. The second half of this game is our Sarah McLachlan special. South Carolina up 30-3 at the half, outscored 28-zip the rest of the way. South Carolina was outgained 371-76 in the second half. An 18-4 first down edge for Texas A&M. 4 sacks to 0 in the second half. Let's just go a little ping pong drive recap here, shall we? Touchdown A&M, turnover on down South Carolina. Touchdown A&M, 3-and-out South Carolina. They're still up, 2 scores. Touchdown A&M, punt South Carolina. If you just hold on now, you can still win this game. Touchdown A&M, 3-and-out South Carolina. Took them less than 20 minutes. And even then, Colin Klein and the offensive staff at A&M find it in the goodness of their hearts to offer South Carolina a shot. They run a gimmick play, inexplicably, down near the goal line, and South Carolina can do nothing with it. Final score 31-30, a game that at one point reached 10 on the pucker meter, ends up being labeled the unpuckering. South Carolina drops the game, and if you believe in snapshots, and sound bites being what lasts the longest in sports and politics, it's going to be a long time before we can shake the image of Shane Beamer, triumphant fist in the air, going into the halftime locker room, only to come out and watch his team implode in on itself like a dying star. This was the Sarah McLachlan special of Week 12. We'll get back to the video 1 second. Do me one quick favor. Look down. Make sure you're subscribed. Most of you are. If you're not, please do so. It's the way we keep the channel free, we keep the videos coming, and we get to do college football year-round as God intended. All right, as promised, back to the video. They got to figure it out at offensive coordinator. This is not breaking news. They already fired Mike Shula. This is not something that's going to be figured out this year, but poor South Carolina, man. I kid because I care, and I really do care. It's a 3-7 season. They cannot make a bowl game now. Obviously, the Clemson game becomes your bowl game. It has to become your Super Bowl. This is why last year was so important for them. Last year, I thought the committee got it right, so I'm not relitigating that part of it. I just remember saying, hey, Bama got left out. That's okay. They'll be back in the mix every year. Ole Miss got left out. Ole Miss has got a shot to be in it every year. Like Lane's got Ole Miss rolling. They'll be fine. South Carolina got close, though, in the playoff rankings. And I remember saying this is a much bigger blow to South Carolina. Because South Carolina realistically cannot expect to just be in position every year. They can try, but history, even recent history, says that's not realistic. And as it turns out, it wasn't. So, there's Ole Miss right back in the playoff race. There's Bama right back in the playoff race. South Carolina's 3-7. That's why last year, them missing out on the playoff was such a big deal. Also, yesterday, you're talking about completely getting lost in the hurricane that followed it. Mike Elko extended with Texas A&M, which we expected. Okay, Penn State had pursued him, and that was, all to basically serve Texas A&M to get an updated contract in front of him. He signs it, and that's great. Great news, wonderful news. I don't care if they ended up losing the game. That's wonderful news for Texas A&M. They are now 99% probability to make the playoff, but the November air got to them. It's funny, I don't know how many times this has happened to me. You give these caution labels to a game or a team. So like last week, they go play Missouri. That was the week a lot of people kept saying, it's November, you're favored, careful, you're ranked high in the playoffs, you haven't really been here, and they blow Missouri out. All the stuff that you said last week actually applied to the week after that. I never, ever, ever saw this coming. I guess the good news for South Carolina is they covered. I never saw it coming. Marcel Reed moving forward, and I cannot emphasize this strongly enough, is still my pick to win the Heisman Trophy. I never gave up on Marcel. Notorious anti-Aggie propagandist Brandon Walker gave up on him and actively attempted to throw Marcel Reed's Heisman ticket under the bus. I never cashed out, and I could have. I could have cashed out yesterday, but I did not. Marcel Reed entered yesterday plus 850 odds to win the Heisman at FanDuel. He was now plus 550, as I checked earlier today. Some say you shouldn't be rewarded for digging yourself a hole that you then climb out of because you're the one who dug the hole. Not my problem. I don't make the odds. I just bet them. Marcel Reed is currently still very much in the thick of the Heisman race. Fernando Mendoza, the favorite. I think Julian Sayin, number 2. And then it's Marcel Reed. I can't remember after that. What an experience that one was. I always think somewhere somebody's watching their first college football game in person or on TV, and any given game could be that game. This was someone's first college football game yesterday. This person is set up for crushing disappointment the rest of the way, because eventually they're going to watch Rutgers. And eventually they're going to realize, oh, it's a come-to-earth moment for me here. I remember, not that this is advice for any of you. Please don't misconstrue what I'm about to say as advice. This is a cautionary tale. When I discovered sports betting, I bet 2 parlays on a Sunday, and I hit both of them. And I think the guy I was betting with a local at the time, he returned 12-1 odds on 14 parlays at Standard Juice. So I bet, I think $20 a piece. I won $220 on them. I'm like 14 years old. So this is a huge deal. And I thought that's how sports betting worked. And so for a long time, I just bet nothing but parlays. And I quickly realized, the odds on hitting those actually are about 1 in 16. So even if it returns at a 12-to-1 rate, it's a mathematical guaranteed loser long term. Actually, I didn't quickly learn that. It took me years to learn that, basic math and stuff. That's got to be what this is going to be like. If you watched that game yesterday and that's college football to you, maybe the best of college football, but yeah, Maryland exists, guys. Northwestern games are going to happen to you. So just prepare. It's okay. You got to let the bad with the good in. That's all. That's another line from She's All That, ironically.